Good morning, welcome to Breakfast with Roger Johnson and Victoria Derbyshire.
Good morning, our headlines today. Fighting intensifies in Ukraine with reports of a missile strike at a military training centre near the western city of Lviv.
£350 a month for taking in Ukrainian refugees. The government announces a scheme to allow those fleeing the war to come to the UK.
The Ukrainian authorities say that 13,000 people managed to safely leave conflict zones yesterday, but those in the devastated city of Mariupol are still being blocked.
Good morning. England have lost the chance to win the Six Nations, but Ireland are still in it. They beat 14-man England at Twickenham and could be crowned champions next weekend.
In weather, we have another blustery day ahead, windiest in the west, and whilst many of us will get to see some sunshine, there are showers around too. I've got your Sunday forecast and a look at the week ahead on the way.
It's Sunday the 13th of March. Good morning, welcome to Breakfast. Our main story today, there's been reports of a missile strike at a military training base close to the western city of Lviv in Ukraine.
Fighting is also intensifying on the outskirts of the capital, Kyiv. Meanwhile, in the UK, a scheme is being launched to allow households to take in refugees who fled the country. John Donnison reports.
On the outskirts of Kyiv, the roads are still open, but the fear is the Russians are coming. They're doing what they can to try and slow them down. At this checkpoint, all the Ukrainian soldiers are volunteered, given just 3 days training. Some of them teenagers, like 18-year-old Dmitro, until a few weeks ago, an economics student.
I feel a bit scared because no one wants to die, even if it's for your country.
Just northwest of Kyiv, a Ukrainian soldier shows off a Russian tank, destroyed, he says, with a British weapon.
This one was shot from this beautiful thing, and I want to say a big thank to our British comrades that are helping us.
The Ukrainians are putting up fierce resistance, but it's believed the bulk of Russian forces have now regrouped just 15 miles from the capital. But in his latest video address, Ukraine's president was again defiant.
The Russian occupiers cannot conquer us. They do not have such strength. There is no such spirit. They are based only on violence, only on terror, only on weapons, of which they have many. But the occupiers have no natural basis for normal life so that people can feel happy and dream. They are organically incapable of making life normal. Wherever Russia has come to a foreign land, dreams are impossible.
Irpin, a town described as the gateway to the capital, has seen some of the heaviest fighting. As the Russians edge closer, efforts to get civilians out are being stepped up. A senior Ukrainian minister said around 13,000 people were evacuated from cities on Saturday, almost twice the number as the day before. But she said the southern port city of Mariupol remains under Russian siege, with nobody able to get out, despite deteriorating conditions with no power and little food and water. In the southeastern city of Melitopol, there were protests from Ukrainians who say Russian forces have kidnapped the mayor. And all the while, the number of refugees fleeing Ukraine continues to rise to more than 2.6 million, according to the United Nations. Well over half of them have headed to Poland. Britain has faced criticism for not doing enough to help. The government has now said people here who agree to host Ukrainian refugees in their homes will receive a £350 monthly payment. John Donnison, BBC News.
Well, let's talk to a couple of guests now. Andrei Kuliakov is a journalist from Hromadski Radio in Kyiv.
And also in central Ukraine, we're joined by Belle True, who's international correspondent for The Independent. Belle, if I could start with you, good morning. Thank you very much for talking to us. I wonder, what can you tell us about these reports of shelling in Lviv, which is in the west of the country where so many Ukrainians have gone for safety?
Well, absolutely. So what we'd heard this morning is that there were explosions above Lviv. Of course, it is a major refugee hub.